you gotta understand also, a lot of these kids is into that drill a lot of these, they're doing a lot of drill music, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't really see too many kings doing drill music unless it's in Chicago.
When you were coming up, more times than not, if you were Puerto Rican or Latino, you were joining the Kings, right? If you were gonna
My
join it.
time and era, it was either, yeah, the Kings or the Netas.
Right.
Or no, there was other crews. There was actually at the time, um, but it was a little bit later. You have Familia that came out.
Dominicans
Uh,
don't play?
well, the Dominicans Don't Play came out later on. DDP, they came out later on. You know what I'm saying? They came out later on
Mhm.
because in the beginning, remember the Dominicans used to rock with us.
Right,
They,
right.
they used to rock with us. You know what I'm saying? And then one of the bros, he was Dominican, he was in a high ranking position, and he was like, "Yo, if the brothers really want to be part of their go back to their roots and stuff," so he kind of opened the doors, and some of them left and became Trinitarios at the time, but a lot of them stayed. A lot of the make actually Santo Domingo got a very big chapter. They are super big out there. I got videos out there with like 3, 4,000 kings on a block, just on a regular block on some regular crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? So the kings are deep in DR.
Well, in this era now, they say it's more common for Latinos to join the Crips or the Bloods. How do you feel about that? What do you think is the cause of that?
I mean, you gotta understand also, a lot of these kids is into that drill shit. A lot of these they're doing a lot of drill music. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't really see too many kings doing drill music unless it's in Chicago.
Right.
There's a couple of artists now doing drill stuff in New York and stuff like that, but the majority of the drill wave, started in Chicago, and a lot of them came is Crips or um not that the Crips have any connection with Chicago, but I don't know, somehow they just, the Pop Smoke, the
Right.
that whole wave, they kind of pushed the New York drill scene. So a lot of the kids got involved in the thing. But a lot of dudes too be nowadays they be like pancaking. Like there was a couple of my son's friends that used to come record in the studio and they used to come here and I had a studio downstairs in my basement. I would see them, I'll be outside or whatever, and I see them show up to my crib all flagged up with blue. And I'm be like, yo, bro, tuck that in when you come to my house, bro. Whatever you do out there, but over here, don't do that. And I was like, yo, y'all Spanish and y'all Crips, and oh, that's what's in the hood. Most of the kings got indicted on the indictment, so there ain't no kings out there no more. So we not MS and we don't fuck with the Bloods. So that's what's popping over there. I'm like, all right. So, but then the funny thing is they go to jail and they come home and they blood now. So it's weird, like, bro. It's weird, bro. These kids be so confused, bro. Like I think a lot of them go with the wave. Like, they land in jails that are dominated by this set and they get confused and they go over there and then they go over here. And it's real, I don't know, bro. It's a whole different.
I think also the other part is that this era is more Americanized too, right? And less connected to the heritage, the cultural lineage too.
Definitely more disconnect. There's definitely more disconnect because now half these kids don't even speak Spanish.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They'll understand it because their mom is home, and a lot of times their mom. But remember, they're like a lot of them are like second generation. So my generation, my mother was straight from over there. So at home, it was Spanish. You understand what I'm saying? So now, after time goes on, me, I speak to my kids in English all the time because now that's my first language. You know what I'm saying? Even though I speak, read, write Spanish and everything. But the good thing was that my son, he understands it. He's not very the way he speaks it, but it's not it sounds almost like a gringo. My daughter's more fluent. She's more fluent. She's more she actually took a little bit more, my son was into the rap thing and all that stuff, so he was more Americanized. My daughter really was more into the Spanish culture. She would sit there with her grandmother and watch the soap operas in Spanish and stuff like that, and the novelas and the news with her grandparents. So she was more into. He was upstairs, always watching. You know what I mean, like Chalk Zone and his he was in the Naruto and all that stuff. So he wasn't really. My daughter was more connected because she sat there and watched the movies and the soap operas and all that. But that's that generation. But now the next generation, they don't even know Spanish. Half these kids don't even know Spanish. So it's like they lost their identity all over again. You know what I mean?
Right, the cultural identity.
Yeah.
They say that the mock ballers, right? The mock baller family are said to be they're independent from the UBN now, right?
I don't really know too much about what's going on with the Bloods. You know what I mean? I heard, yeah, that they are independent, but a lot of groups went independent from the UBN.
But they say that they have like the largest
Amount of
of
members. Of me-
Latinos, right?
I
For like a
mean,
blood set.
I mean, the Bronx is a big Latin thing. A lot of the Mac ballers all come from the Bronx. Like their main headquarters, main thing is the Bronx. So yeah, they're deep. They have a lot of Latinos, but there's a lot of Latinos in everything now. It's like, and then you got a lot of black trinidadios. You got is no
It's
longer
all
one.
mixed now.
Everything is a mixed, a melting pot of all type of different things. You got Indian Latin kings, you got Chinese Latin kings, you got Filipino Latin kings, you got Filipino Crips, you got so it just depends on the neighborhood and the people that you're around. That's what usually kids gravitate to the clique that's in their neighborhood. And if they get beef with the clique in their neighborhood, that's who they go against. So if they're blood or they're crip in that neighborhood and they get jumped or they get bullied by them, they go to the opposing factor, whoever's banging on them. So that's how these things are just growing and growing because of that. You know what I mean?